Hi everyone, my name is Mark. You might have seen me before in one of Josef's videos. I was here with him about 9 months ago at this particular beach. Beautiful spot in sunny Spain. And we did an ayahuasca session. It's something I'd been thinking about, looking at, and when the opportunity arose I said yes, and we did the session. And at the time I had quite a serious drinking problem. Living this van life, beach party lifestyle, it's very easy to overindulge. But I had that in mind, but I wasn't necessarily considering any more than that. But anyway, the next morning I discovered that I had no desire for alcohol, and I would have had a beer mid-morning usually. And as the day progressed, and then the next day and the next day, nothing, no desire, no craving. It was as if a switch had been flicked in my brain that didn't respond to alcohol anymore. And here I am 9 months later, absolutely free and clear of alcohol. It doesn't concern me in the slightest. A lot of my friends drink quite heavily. It doesn't even interest me, but I'm happy to party with them, so that's good. So I wanted to meet Josef again. I knew he was coming here because I felt there were issues in my life holding me back, and as we discussed what some of those things were, Josef suggested doing some breath work, and the first one, we came up here 2 days ago to do some Tai Chi, I think it was, and I had to stop. My fear of heights was creeping in, and I couldn't walk up this part of the hill at all. I had to go and sit on the flat bit. So when we came down from that session, Joseph had suggested doing a breathwork session and addressing the fear. So went into my camper van, laid on the bed, good music playing, and Josef led me through the breathing meditation to the place where you start to call out your pain, your fear, whatever it is, and really start to shout it out. And that's what we did. And half an hour later I was able to do this. All that fear had gone. I looked back and addressed it. Looked back at times that I'd felt the fear of heights, and yeah, I didn't come up the same day. I came up the next morning and I climbed almost to the top, but no fear. 2 days ago I could not have stood here like this, and so I was feeling really alive and bouncy and full of life. And then I noticed something else creeping in, and it was anger. So again, I spoke to Joe about it and said yes, let's do another session, and it became a bit more of a prolonged session, a breathwork session. So I think we started addressing the anger, and I really felt that lift away from me, and this is by the shouting and screaming as part of the process that you're casting this darkness out, and it's a real physical process. So we touched on the anger, and I think a couple of other things, and then a word came to mind, and it was loneliness. And I realized that there have been periods of my life when I felt really lonely, starting from a young child, and I pictured certain times in my life, and again I cast these feelings of loneliness out by shouting and screaming, and I felt a sense of relief, and I really felt that I wanted to touch out to myself in the past. give that person love, and I felt that happened. And yeah, and since then I've been on cloud 9. The loneliness seems to have drifted away. I don't feel any anger. I'm just feeling great. An absolutely loving life.